Home World is a privilege to be performing in front of a home crowd. Of course, it comes with a lot of pressure.
We won't get this feeling of, oh, like we're going to a big competition or like a competition because we don't have that travel day. But I think that's like a little trap to be a little too relaxed.
Usually at competitions, I end up feeling lost because it's a different rink, and I feel like I struggle a lot with like where I am on the ice.
Like spatial awareness?
So I feel like I'll have less of that this time. Yeah.
It feels a little bit like we are hosting, even though we're not really, but it's fun to see everybody all come together as a really big extended family in Montreal. When we trained in Lyon, my partner and I, training in a facility where we always felt like it was either an international competition or an international seminar, but it had that feeling of being in a competition almost all the time.
I don't think too much about like, oh, they're my competitors or stuff like that. It's just we train together, and sometimes there'll be some senior couples also to come to us and be like, oh, this part, if you did this correction, maybe that could help.
I feel like there's never any bad tension between us as competitors, but I do feel that they are my competitors when I skate on the ice,
when we compete, we feel that.
My best friend is my top competitor, so it's interesting, but we're both just genuinely happy for each other to do our best.
I think that was the bigger goal that we had in starting an international school. Train them as co-workers, and then let the judges decide when they see them at competition.
Figure skating's also unique in that aspect because you get judged on what you do. You're not really competing against somebody like in let's say hockey or volleyball or something like that. So it's really about what you do on the day on the ice.
Put out,
This is our 5th season together. So 5th season together. It was like a big learning curve throughout the years to really understand one another and to appreciate our differences and our different strengths as well. The beginning half of the season was a little difficult. We weren't skating up to our potential.
Coming into this season, our mindset was maybe a little bit more outward focused, maybe a bit more, without meaning it to be more result focused. And for us, we know that when we focus more on ourselves and our personal goals, we do better. Partnership went through some transitional phases this season, and it helped us come together stronger and find out really what works for us when we compete and when we train.
We really worked on our relationship and with one of our sports psychs to really get down to the root of the problem and to really work together as a team and to see what exactly worked for us.
I think we found a recipe that really works for us, and I'm proud of us for being able to really turn it around and make the season a big learning opportunity and a positive outcome. So we're hoping to keep the momentum going into Worlds and really keep being detail oriented and focused. We chose Madonna as a theme for this year's rhythm dance.
It's fantastic initiatives. The biggest star in the universe right now as we speak. I want to meet her.
Beginning of the year, we had we used Material Girl, Into the Groove, and Express Yourself. But then we found that with that edit, we didn't really show as much of our qualities, and also in the change in energy within the program itself. So we decided to switch out the middle piece and use a prayer instead.
We're really working on details and refinement of the program, optimizing GOE on every element, as opposed to in the beginning it was more about creating the story and the vision.
And then with Marie, we just talked about what worked best in the lead up to 4 continents and the week of and what we need to carry through into the build-up for Worlds to recreate, well, not recreate, but continue the momentum from that. Ooh. The middle, yeah.
We're always like looking, tweak. Like for example, like we add like little, we take out like a second here, a second there, add in a second here, a second there.
Yeah.
Add in some flares in the music to enhance the music, to enhance the choreography and the elements. So
Yeah.
it's an ongoing process all the way to Worlds. Our free dance concept came up from actually a TV show on Netflix called Love, Death, and Robots. We came up with the idea of us being both sirens, underwater sea creatures. So then we kind of explored that with Sam Shreenard, and then also choreographed the program with Mary France as well. I don't think we're making major changes going into Worlds, but it's to really refine and to look at those like little details that might seem minute, but like make a big difference overall.
Okay. I think by the time I turned, I was already too far from him, no? What works for us is like logging the repetition, like writing it down, so we have like notes we can fall back on and say like, look how consistent this is. This isn't so consistent, so let's work on that. And yeah, I think communicating a lot.
Our final season in junior, we were like doing pretty well. So then after we got the results in junior, we heard everyone was saying to us like, oh, when you go to senior, it'll be different, it'll be like harder and more competitive.
I feel like the beginning of the season, the programs were, for me, harder to do than when we were junior. I feel also because they were longer, so cardio-wise, but also because the intricacy was a lot more present than when we were junior. So we've been more focusing on like trying to represent whatever character that we have. So for Prince, it's like the singer, right? So we try to like look at videos of him and try to kind of like represent what type of like person he was or how he danced.
It was really hard to like do it at first, and I feel it still is a bit difficult. Like when people ask like, oh, how are you like portraying 80s?
How do you train to like show the
80s,
represent the 80s? It's like so wide that it's hard to explain.
I feel in general in the beginning of the season, it's really hard for me to connect to the story and the character, because like my brain understands it, but when I do it, I feel like my body and my emotion is not really like connected to what I'm doing. Like at the beginning, it's like we first meet and it's like raining and everything, and then after we don't know what love is, and then we fall in love, and then he tells me he has to go to war, and then the end is like a whole like, not fight, but like he has to tell me he leaves, and I don't want that, and
this
he doesn't
struggle
want it
between
either.
them.
Yeah. There's like still like 5 weeks before Worlds. We're changing stuff now and doing choreography changes and stuff like that.
Cross cut.
You won't kick me, right?
I can adjust that.
But actually, it'll be different because we're gonna be already close.
Yeah.
Going into the hydro, because usually we had to pull in.
Yeah.
Now we'll be close. Should we try?
I think that could work. That can work. Okay.
We just warm up the elements, do a run through, and then make small adjustments, and the coaches will look at it.
And just drill stuff.
Yeah, and usually we won't have actually like lift classes or like big choreography changes at that time. Return à tournoi, right?
Ouais, par là.
Return.
Croisé, stretch. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, got it. I feel like as seniors now, it gets more and more important to know how to communicate with your partner, and also know what to do to help her, or she knows what to do to help me in stressful situations. And I feel like, we've been learning a lot. Right now, we're going to competitions mostly to try to experience as much as we can to gain more experience. It's less about like, okay, trying to be like always in the top. It's more about, okay, what can we learn about ourselves? How can we improve better? And just a journey of discovery, really. Yeah. For us, it's been really about strengthening what we think we do the best. In our case, it's really about storytelling and just telling, showing the world like a story within our program.
I want to be a couple that really is like, I feel like I say this a lot, but that's like memorable, and that we leave an impression on the people that have watched us. And so like for the rhythm dance, like more of an upbeat music, I feel like I want people to dance with us and feel like they're being pulled in, and that they're like enjoying as much as we enjoy skating, they're enjoying watching us. And for the free dance, like we want them to understand our story.
The story, the heartbreak from the love story,
We want them to connect to our characters as well. So I feel like the emotion that we bring to the program, we want everyone to feel that as well.
I just want to like establish our position as seniors at Worlds, and show like we said before, also like not look like junior skaters. That like we are junior. We're transitioning from junior to senior, but we don't want to look like kind of babyish or too young for the seniors. So we want to take our place in the competition.
As a coach for my teams, what I wish for is for them to finish this season feeling that they've done everything they could and they skated their very best performance. I mean, most of them will have their families in the stands, and the federations are always excited to, for Worlds to see if they're going to do their season's best or the evolution since their last competition. So, anytime we do Worlds, it's at home or somewhere else where the crowd gets involved, and you feel that there's that vibe that's electric, and one after the other, the teams are skating well and they have season best score. I mean, this is a win all around. Sometimes when you're trying to be too perfect and not leave space for magic, then you don't allow yourself to be creative, because we're not robots. Like, these kids are not robots. We have to trust that with the public and with everything that, the training will be done enough so they can allow the magic to happen while they perform.